The period from 1958 to 1979 saw significant crises and confrontations during the Cold War, with Berlin remaining one of the most contentious and volatile issues. Despite some steps taken to improve East-West relations during this time, the Berlin question continued to be a source of intense tension between the Soviet Union and the Western powers, encapsulating the broader struggle between communism and capitalism in the heart of Europe. After World War II, Berlin was divided into 4 occupation sectors, controlled by the United States, Britain, France, and the Soviet Union. This division became a microcosm of the Cold War, as West Berlin, surrounded by communist East Germany, remained a Western enclave in the midst of Soviet-dominated territory. Throughout the 1950s, Berlin was a focal point of Cold War tensions, with both sides unwilling to compromise on their positions. For the Soviet Union, Berlin was a strategic and ideological battleground. Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev viewed the continued presence of the Western powers in West Berlin as a direct threat to the security and stability of the Eastern Bloc. Khrushchev was particularly concerned about the economic and political contrast between East and West Berlin. West Berlin, with its prosperity and freedoms, was a constant reminder to East Germans of the benefits of capitalism, leading to a steady stream of defections from East to West. By 1958, this issue had reached a critical point, with thousands of East Germans fleeing through Berlin each week, undermining the stability of East Germany and threatening the credibility of the entire Eastern Bloc. In November 1958, Khrushchev issued an ultimatum to the Western powers, demanding that they withdraw their forces from West Berlin and agree to make the city a free city, independent of both East and West Germany. Khrushchev's ultimatum was designed to force the West to recognize the permanence of the division of Germany and to end the Western presence in Berlin, which he saw as an anachronism and a provocation. The Soviet leader gave the Western powers 6 months to comply, threatening to turn over control of access routes to West Berlin to East Germany if they refused, a move that would effectively force the West to negotiate directly with the East German government. The Western powers, particularly the United States under President Dwight D. Eisenhower, viewed Berlin as a critical symbol of their commitment to defending democracy and containing communism. West Berlin was seen not just as a strategic outpost, but as a frontline in the ideological battle of the Cold War. Eisenhower and his allies were determined not to abandon the city, as doing so would have been seen as a major concession to Soviet pressure and a betrayal of the West Berliners, who relied on Western protection. The Western response to Khrushchev's ultimatum was firm. They refused to withdraw from Berlin or to negotiate away their rights in the city. Eisenhower, however, was also aware of the dangers of escalating the situation into a full-blown crisis. He sought to balance a strong defense of Western interests with a desire to avoid war, leading to a cautious approach that aimed at finding a diplomatic resolution to the Berlin issue. In an effort to ease tensions and explore potential solutions, Khrushchev and Eisenhower agreed to hold a summit in September 1959. The summit, held at Camp David in the United States, was a significant moment in Cold War diplomacy. It marked the first time a Soviet leader had visited the United States and provided an opportunity for direct dialogue between the two superpowers. During the summit, Khrushchev and Eisenhower discussed a range of issues, including the future of Berlin. While no concrete agreements were reached on Berlin, the summit succeeded in reducing immediate tensions. Khrushchev withdrew his ultimatum, and the two leaders agreed to continue negotiations, a move that came to be known as the spirit of Camp David. The summit was seen as a hopeful sign that the superpowers might be able to manage their differences without resorting to conflict. However, the fundamental disagreement over Berlin remained unresolved, and the city's status continued to be a flashpoint in East-West relations. The Western powers remained committed to maintaining their presence in West Berlin and ensuring that the city remained free and connected to the West, while the Soviet Union and East Germany sought to stem the flow of refugees and secure their control over East Berlin. This unresolved tension would eventually lead to the construction of the Berlin Wall in 1961, a dramatic escalation that symbolized the deepening division of Europe. In the broader context of the Cold War, the Berlin question was emblematic of the difficulties in achieving lasting détente between the superpowers. While there were moments of reduced tension and improved communication, the fundamental ideological and geopolitical differences between East and West made it nearly impossible to reach a lasting resolution on Berlin. The city's fate would remain a central issue in Cold War diplomacy, shaping the course of East-West relations for decades to come.